This review contains spoilers. We start with Callum and the group. The dark magic spell made Callum sick. They are back at the camp. Callum starts having nightmares. Corvus finds them and tells Ezran that he's the king now. Ezran realizes that his father died and needs alone time and goes into the forest. Corvus is impatient and searches for Ezran. He finds Ezran's trail, but they collide with pentatrails. He panics and goes back to the camp, and Rayla tells him that Ezran can speak to animals and that he will be okay. Soren is still lying on the floor. Claudia tries to heal him with dark magic, but it doesn't work, so the soldiers bring him back to the town. Claudia brought Soren to a doctor. The doctor tells her that he will never walk again. Soren tells Claudia about the mission he got from Viron to kill the princess. Claudia gets frustrated with the situation and ruins a bunch of stuff in search of a way to help Soren, and she gets thrown out for this. In the castle, the council lady let the soldiers search for Viron. He's in a dungeon with the mirror and talks to the elf. The elf's name is Aravos. After Viron learns the name of the elf, he does some research on the elf. Every time he reads something about Aravos, the passage disappears. At the end of the episode, Claudia goes through the town. A huge panther shows up and Ezran sits on his back. Callum in his nightmare starts to drown and struggles for air. There was only one thing I disliked, and it is more of a subjective opinion than a fact. I really like the voice acting in the show. It is from the very beginning top notch, but I don't like the voices of the character of the council lady and the doctor. We see at the beginning of the episode Callum kind of poisoned by the dark magic spell. And I like the juxtaposition to Claudia. She tries to heal Soren with dark magic and she has no problems with it. We saw her cast often dark magic, but never had to see the beginnings of someone who learns dark magic. That it does have a poisoning effect like this, and the thought that you get your body used to the poison is an interesting one. So it's interpretation time. So Callum starts to have nightmares. He lies on a pile of keys, so I think it means that this dream will open the door for Callum and leads him on the path he will go. He talks with a different Callum who likes to do dark magic. He tries to convince Callum that this is the way to do things. It is nice to see him struggle with taking a shortcut. Claudia also told him that this is the only way humans can do magic, and it makes totally sense that he struggles now with this after he experienced it. Then King Harrow shows up, chained to a throne, which could mean that he is the personification of his common sense, and it shows that Callum has a lot of respect for his stepfather. Callum tells his dark magical mirror image that this is not the way he wants to do things, and the image molders. Then we have Callum alone in the dark. Captain Villas shows up and tells him that he needs a boat for his journey to his heart and mind. The wind could mean that he goes with the wind, without control, and he gets to be a mainsail. And the fact he hasn't saying with being the mainsail makes me think of this more. Then Villas is gone and Callum takes control, which can mean exactly this. That Callum tries to take control but gets frustrated because of his decisions he made, like to use the dark magic or destroy the primal stone. So he destroys the primal stone in his dream. It rewinds and zooms into the stone and the boat is destroyed. The parrot takes Villas and flies away, which could mean that he feels alone or left alone. It makes sense since his parents are dead and recently his stepfather died. Then he starts to drown, which can mean that he gave up or that the situation is too difficult to bear. And this was my interpretation of the dream. We learn the name of the elf Viren is interacting with. His name is Aravos, and I like that Viren, as he did some research, that he wasn't able to read anything about him. That shows us immediately that Aravos isn't trustworthy. But one problem do I have with this scene. Why doesn't he let someone else read it for him out loud? Obviously Aravos doesn't want Viren to research him. The old lady could read it, as an example. The Soren and Claudia part was sweet. He tells Claudia about the secret mission he got from Viren. This is nice, but when he says that he was confused and he didn't want to do this, the first thing which comes to my mind is that he tries to kill the girl. And that makes it important to have consistency with your characters, so you don't ruin moments like this with your characters. The facial expressions, especially with Soren, were very good in this episode. Corvus is searching for Ezran, and he panics due to the panther trail he finds. Rayla tells him that Ezran can speak to animals. But even if you can do this, I mean, if an animal is a carnivore and hungry, would an animal less care about this kind of thing? In the episode in Season 1, when we learned this ability of Ezran, Ezran tells that some of the animals are not to be trusted. The lack of blood is more proof of Ezran being not eaten than the story Rayla tells Corvus. So, this was my review of episode 8. What did you think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you are new. Have a nice one, you take care, bye.
Can you feel it when I do this?
No. What are you doing?
I'm pinching you, Soren.
Well, that's just rude.